Hello everyone, welcome back to JCE Connect channel. So in this class, we are going to study about the acceleration of concrete hardening in prefabrication system. So here the accelerated curing, that is any method by which high early edge strength that is achieved in concrete. So usually, as we all know that the concrete will get the strength soon after 28 days of the proper curing system, right? So in this prefabricated system, so here we are going to use this accelerated curing. So that means we are going to get the high early edge strength what we will get in the concrete. So these techniques which are specially useful in the prefabrication industry, wherein the high early edge strength that enables the removal of the formwork within 24 hours. So here whatever the strength we are going to achieve in 28 days, so that one we can achieve in within 24 hours itself. So because of this accelerated curing, so thereby the reducing the cycle time as well as resulting in cost saving benefits. So the main intention of this accelerated curing, that is nothing but it is going to be reduce the total curing period what we are going to provide in the conventional system, right? So in this prefabrication system we are going to use this accelerated curing just to finish the work in an earlier time, that is especially with the time in the sense that curing time, right? So in the curing time in the conventional type we are going to get for the 28 days, but here we can be used in the earlier days. The same strength we can achieve in prefabricated structural elements. Okay, and here we are having certain introduction part in this system, that is the precast concrete is useful for several reasons. So why exactly we require this precast concrete? The first thing is the dead load and deflection can be controlled. So here whatever the dead load of the structural members are there, and even the deflections what it is going to be achieved because of so many criteria, so many factors such as the external load bearing from the top structures and all, so that can be minimized by using this precast concrete elements. And quality control that is improved, because since it is the prefabrication elements that's manufactured in a closed supervision condition, so each and everything which will be there just in front of our eyes, so that we can maintain the better quality controls. I mean, we can achieve the better quality in the structural elements, and shrinkages and creep can be reduced. So here the mixed proportion and whatever the proportions of the materials what we are going to use in the concrete, so that mixed proportion which is been fixed, and that entire process of the concrete, that is since soon after adding the water that mixing will be there, and then the placing, and then compaction, leveling, so each and every activities what it will comes under in the concrete part. So everything which is comes under in the closed environmental conditions, so it won't affect much with the environmental aspects such as temperature and all, so it can maintain the better stages within that closed environmental conditions, so that shrinkages and creep can even be reduced, and material availability can be improved in these precast elements, that is in the construction, in the manufacturing site itself we can store the materials for the manufacturing of the prefabrication elements, so that at the availability of the materials easily it can be accessible for the manufacturing process. And then the erection methods which are similar to that of the steel, and thus the total construction time is significantly reduced. So here each and every member of the prefabrication system has been already manufactured, just the thing is like we need to erect that one properly at the required location. So that it can be easily done with the proper precautions such as the selection of the equipment, such as the erections equipment such as crane and all. So depends upon the length of the structural members, and even the depend upon the weight of the structural element, we can be decide which type of the equipments we require in the erection part. So that every stage is since from the starting till end with a well planned in a system, we can achieve the better quality, and even the cost also can be reduced with respect to time, right? So even the time also can be significantly reduced in the construction process. And here we are having the different methods in the accelerated curing. That is the two main methods which are used for the accelerated the curing process, that is the use of physical processes. So here we are having two different processes. First one is a physical process and second one is by using the admixtures, right? So here first one, the use of the physical process, that is increasing in the curing temperature, that is the introduction of moisture to curing environment. So that is nothing but what, in the curing process we need to increase the temperature, that is by using the heat curing and all. So that time, even we can call it as a steam curing also. So just by using that temperature, that heat of hydration, I mean the hydration process, it is going to be increased, and whatever that hydration process, it is going to be taken time. So that can be done in an earlier time by using this increase in the temperature, right? So the second one is the use of admixtures. So here we are having the different types of the admixtures, that is mineral admixtures as well as the chemical admixtures. So these admixtures to act as the catalyst for the hydration process. So catalyst in the sense, these are the elements, it is going to be change the entire reactions in the concrete part, right? So especially in the curing part, so this catalyst which are used, I mean which are present in the admixtures, it is going to be change the reaction which is going to be taken place in the hydration process. So hydration is nothing but, as we all know, that when we are going to add the water to the cement, so that whatever the heat which is going to be generate in that cement as well as the water mixture, so that hydration, it is going to be taken certain time, so that time we can be minimized by adding this catalyst, that is in the form of admixtures, right? So that hydration process, that is resulting in the achievement of the high compressive strength in the relatively short periods of time. So as per the target mean strength, we are going to achieve the the maximum compressive strength after 28 days of the curing, right? But here when we are going to add the certain admixtures, that hydration process, it is going to be complete in an earlier time, and simultaneously we can achieve the high compressive strength, that is in relatively short periods of time. I mean in the earlier time only we can finish, we can get that maximum compressive strength from the concrete part. And here the use of admixtures, that is in order to accelerate the curing process, that can be further subdivided into the use of mineral and chemical admixtures, right? So here again we are going to get the different types of the admixtures, that one we have already studied, that is mineral admixtures as well as the chemical admixtures. So by adding this, we can be minimize that hydration process time, and simultaneously we can achieve the maximum compressive strength in the concrete part. Okay, and here we are going to study with the mineral and chemical admixtures, especially in the curing part. Okay, so here the mineral admixtures, they are the most common mineral admixtures, they are used as an accelerator in silica fume, right? So here the mineral admixtures such as you have seen, that is fly ash, GGBS, right? So these all the rich in silica content. So that is, it's like what, it acts as the accelerated, especially in the silica fume, right? And the fly ash is frequently used in order to improve the other properties of the concrete, especially the workability of the concretes can also be achieved by adding this fly ash, and even the heat of hydration also we can be minimized by adding this fly ash. Okay, and it has a retarding effect on the initial set and early strength gain of the concrete. So we have already known about the setting time of the concrete, that is initial setting time, and one more is the final setting time. So here whatever the initial setting time which is there, that is it should not be less than 30 minutes, that is the secondary part. But here whatever the time taken to complete that entire concrete activity, right? So by adding this fly ash we can be minimize that, so that is directly proportional in the saving of the time. So that initial setting time we can be minimized by adding this fly ash. Okay, and here and it should not be used for accelerated of curing purposes, right? And the coming to the next part, that is the chemical admixtures. Here we are we have certain chemical admixtures, that is such as high range water reducers, that is HRWR, that is a type of chemical admixtures. The main intention of this chemical admixtures, that is it is going to be reduce the water content in the concrete, so that is directly proportional in the helping of the hydration process is going to be complete in earlier time. And even that moisture content whatever which is present in the concrete, that one also can be minimized, so that directly it leads what the saving the time in the curing process. Okay. And such as again the different types of the chemical admixtures, that is superplasticizers, and it have been used as a indirect accelerators, and primarily due to their ability to reduce the water demand for a given mix. So as we all know that the water cement ratio we require, that is 0.28% of cement, that is 0.28% of the cement content we require as a water cement ratio, that is to get the maximum compressive strength. But simultaneously we need to maintain the proper workability, and even it should be more workable to place that one at the required location. So we are going to add a certain amount of water, and even we will get a proper amount of workability content also there, right? So here by adding these chemical admixtures we can reduce the water cement ratio, but in the meantime we can achieve the maximum compressive strength just by adding less amount of water. So like that these properties of the super plasticizers can be defined. And here next one is that electrical resistance curing. So this electrical resistance curing, that is by imposing an electrical current through the reinforcing steel or through the additional wires, that heat is going to be generated inside the concrete as a result of the provided electrical resistance, that resulting in the increased curing temperature. So here we can increase the temperature just by providing that electrical energy through this reinforcements. So usually the concrete members will be having certain reinforcements within its section, such as even though columns will be having certain reinforcements, even in slab, even in beam, like that. So through that particular reinforcements, that electrical energy which is going to be passed through that reinforcements, so when we have passed the electrical energy, the electrical current, so that heat is going to be generated within that reinforcements. So by using that heat, that concrete can be cured with respect to that moisture content. So like that also we can provide this electrical resistance curing. And in some cases if we have not having any proper the reinforcements, so in that cases we can add the additional wires. So that additional wires which is having certain amount of current, so that is going to be generating with a heat within that concrete sections, and then that curing can be done easily, right? And this method they may also be used by applying electrical currents directly to the formwork. So before releasing that formwork, demolding that formwork, also we can be provide a certain amount of current within that section, so that it is going to be generate certain amount of heat, so that we can done the curing process in an earlier time. And even by attaching the electrical resistance elements to the forms, so that through that different electrical resistance forms that current is going to be passed in the concrete sections, and then that heat which is going to be generated within the concrete sections by using these reinforcements which is passed from the current. And then low pressure steam curing. So here steam curing, which is a process in which the elevated curing temperatures and the additions of the moisture during the curing process are both which is used in order to accelerate the rate of strength gain. Okay, so here steam curing in the sense additional temperature have to be provided for the concrete members, right? So here elevated curing temperatures in the sense that temperature we can be monitored in the particular sections. So we need to provide certain amount of heat by increasing the temperature, and then also we can done that curing process. Okay, and so that the addition of moisture during the curing process are both used in order to accelerate the rate of strength gain. So by adding this we can achieve the concrete strength whatever we are going to achieve in the conventional concrete just by doing the 28 days of curing, that one we can be achieved very well within a particular duration of time. And here low pressure steam curing, which is frequently used in very dry climates and in applications when the controlling the loss of moisture is imperative. So here low pressure steam curing in the sense, so basically in the summer season and all, already the temperature will be in a high in its degree, so that we can provide the low pressure steam curing, so that minimum temperature as well as the current room temperature can be applied on that concrete surface, and that curing process can be done by using these elevated temperatures. And coming to the part that is mineral admixtures for accelerating curing. So here we can be used the fly ash, that can be used as a cement replacement material, and this particular fly ash, it can be reduce even the heat of hydration process in the concrete structures. And here the fly ash is one of the byproducts which are formed by the modern power plants, and it is a coal combustion byproduct, and it is collected by the electrostatic precipitators used to filter the combustion gases. It is basically a waste product which will get generate from the various aspects, that is where exactly the coal combustion byproduct is going to be generated. So in such places this fly ash can be available. So this particular material which is already burnt, and most of the elements are ready to be used, and here the fly ash does not result in improved early strength of the concrete. So only adding this fly ash, it can't increase the compressive strength of the material or any strength of the any type of the strength of the material. So which is require a certain amount of the binding materials, which is specially made by using the cementitious materials such as lime and all. So that time it can achieve the particular strength by adding this fly ash. And here the use of fly ash, that may be improve other properties of the concrete, namely the plasticity of the mix, and it should not be used as a curing elevator. Okay. And here the chemical admixtures for accelerating curing. So as we have discussed, there are different types of accelerating curing materials are there, which is comes under in chemical admixtures. So here the high range water reducing admixtures, that is HRWR, so that is contributes to a large increase in early strength of the early concrete strength and under both normal and accelerated curing conditions. So this high range water reducers, when we add these types of the admixtures in the concrete, so it is going to be reduce the total water content which is there, which is required for the workability part. So that one it can be easily drained off, I mean easily it can be absorbed, and it can be dried off with respect to that moisture content. And here the use of these admixtures, which is result in the in either increased concrete workability while maintaining a target strength level. So here the main intention of adding these admixtures, that results in either increased concrete workability, even though it is going to be increase the workability property of the concrete, and whatever we require that one to achieve the target mean strength. And in general the water reducing admixtures, that results in reduced water demands for a given mix, and in some cases we are going to face the water scarcity, so that time we can be used this high range water reducers, so that we can be replace the total quantity of the water just by adding few drops of this admixtures. So it can achieve the same workability what we are going to achieve by adding the water content, right? So it can be reduce the water content, and the same thing, the same strength we can be achieved, what we are going to achieve after 28 days, we can be achieved that one within lesser time than that. Okay, so these are different types of the admixtures what we have used in the accelerated curing part. Okay, so here we'll be getting two different admixtures, that is physical mineral admixtures and then the chemical admixtures. Okay, and we'll be having different types of other curing periods, so I mean curing parts also, that is physical process in this, the curing temperature and the induction of the moisture of curing environment. So that is belongs to environmental aspects here. So just a revision part. It is just like the use of physical process increasing the curing temperature, so that it is going to be increase the total temperature which is there in the environment, so that by using that temperature we can be controlled that total curing time.